So guys, we're back with episode 2 of the £100 to $50,000 flip account. If you watched the last video, you will see that we actually doubled the account size last week. So we got from $100 or £100 up to £200. The goal in this episode is to get the balance to 300 so that we complete the initial flip challenge. And then what we will do, we will buy the 50k funded challenge. So if you haven't already, the first link in the description will be the previous video just so you can catch up. But yes, what we'll do, we'll get into this video now, and then hopefully this video is where we can potentially go and buy the challenge. So guys, the next trade we have now taken on the account is this one here. So it was on Euro New Zealand dollar. We haven't had a trade since the 18th. So the last trade we took was on the 18th of November, and that was the last trade you saw in the previous video. Now this is going to be the first trade of this video. This is obviously on the 28th of November. So we've had about 10 days in between these trades, obviously including the weekend. And we've waited for a good possibility to come up. And this is the one that we've got. So it was an EN. We had a double fib, a key level, and the 168.50 round number. I'm going to show you, because this is blurry, I'm going to go onto the actual chart and show you what we had. There was a Euro speech. And obviously it did move the euro. So if we now look and we are on trading view here, this is what we were looking at. So we had a Fibonacci from this move here. And I also had a Fibonacci from this move down here. So within this area here, as you can see, we had two fibs. We had a nice round number as well. And if I extend this left, you can see we had a wick there, a wick there, and a wick there, and a wick there. So a very strong trade that we took. If we now look at what happened a bit more zoomed in into the area, price has come up over the course of a few days, tapped us in there, and as you can see now on the screen, we took a 40 pip partial on this position. This is what happened. We took obviously the partial, we've left the runner, and then obviously following that we can see what happened. You'll actually know that we ran this runner into a buy, which what I'll do, I will break down in the next clip. But just to summarise this clip here, we had two fibs, we had a key level, we had a round number, and therefore we absolutely sniped this position. We hit the TP. Obviously, if we go into the 60, you can see pretty much it tagged us in, obviously about 1 o'clock, and by the end of the 2 o'clock candle, we'd hit the partial. So that is the first trade of the account, and that has taken the account up to £242. So obviously before this trade it was at about 210. So we've made £32 from this, or 32% of the starting balance. The reason now we are able to risk a little bit higher with the 32 is because originally what we were doing, we were risking about 30 a trade. We're now able to risk 60 a trade with the increased balance. So we're compounding the account. As the account grows, we can risk more money for the same amount of percentage risk. So hopefully now, this remaining 100 that we need to get the challenge done, obviously will happen sooner rather than later. So what I will do, this was the sell. What I will do next is break it down and go into the buy that we took. So as you can see from this here, once again zoomed in, this is a trade that we sent to the analysis group. So basically what we said is, following the win, which is what we saw here, we are going to risk the runner from the sell on this buy. So we said we are only going to be risking the profits to make sure it's risk-free. So what I've said, we had a 61 fib, a key level, a break retest here, and also the round number, 32 pip stop loss. And what we did, we set the TP of this sell as the stop loss of this trade. So if this trade was to lose the buy, then the sell would stop out and we would be break even on the trade. So as you can see from the screen now, I will put up the actual position. And this is kind of what happened. So we will play it out. So as you can see, price came down. We was waiting, and there we go. Look at that. Stopped us out pretty much by the pip. So what did we did? We risked, obviously, the sell. So we risked about 30% of the account balance on this position. And as you can see on the screen, the trade actually lost. So then what we did, as this trade lost, we close this position there. So then we risk the profits from the sell on the buy. The buy lost, so then we close the sell, so we didn't actually lose any money from this. So what you'll see is from the screen, we was at £242. We took the loss, which took us down to 208, and then we closed the sell for 166 pips, which actually closed us then, and then took the balance to 243. So as you can see, risk-free trading. We wouldn't normally take this position if we didn't have the risk-free, but it just allows you to take. So hopefully, if you are new to this concept, you've kind of learnt something new from that side of things. So following these 2 trades here, we were back up to obviously about 143% up. So hopefully we can continue this win streak now. It's easier to show you it back with the replay due to what we did. But yeah, hopefully we can get a couple more trades, and then following that, past this, the flip side of it, and then what we can do, we can get a challenge, and then get the ball rolling and getting some actual funding. So guys, this is a trade that was sent by Jack to the group. It's a few days later now, so it's actually the 2nd of December. So this is a trade that has been sent to the group by Jack, analysing gold. What you will notice from the group is that myself and Jack will send positions. Jack will mainly analyse gold. I will mainly analyse DXY and the yen basket. And then what will happen following that is that obviously we will stick to what we focus on, and then obviously we can take each other's trades. So this is the first trade on gold that I've taken on this flip challenge, just because, again, I've not had any other positions on it. So thank you, Jack, for this one. So if we look what happened, we had a 50 fib in and around the 1800 area, and what we said was we'd have a 100 pip safety zone. So if we now come to the market, you can see this is the fib, this is the key level that you see. Look, multiple respects of this level. We have the 1800 round number, and then let's have a look what's happened, and there you go, that was the win. So if we just rewind it one more candle, going to the 60 minute, and then as you can see, look, that's what's happened. So the trade triggered us in and around 2 o'clock. As you can see from what's on the screen now, we took £52 from this position. So what we did, we risked obviously the normal amount. Usually we would partial half, but because this took us to our actual target, this was actually the final trade of this 100 to 300 mini challenge we had to start with. So this is now the first stage of the flip account kind of passed. We've done £100 to 300, so we closed this position at 100 pips for 52% of starting account balance, and obviously following that, you can basically just see that now the balance is about 290, which will allow us to buy a 50,000 funding challenge. So what we're going to do now, we can just look back and analyse the balance. So what I'll do, I will get a screenshot up of the previous trades we've done and just kind of show you the process of what happened. But yeah, really good trade here. Obviously this push on the Friday did help us get across the finishing line, but yeah, that just shows that patience paid. We waited about 3 to 4 days in between the last trade and this one, just because it's always quality over quantity. So yeah, that's the final trade. What we will do now is just review kind of the process of what we did here. So this is the journey that we've just experienced on the flip account. As mentioned in the previous video, there's a couple of positions we've not been over. So for example, if there's been, break-even positions, a small trade like this for £5, we've not really gone into it because it's not made a substantial change to the balance. But obviously these are all the trades we've taken. So pretty much in 4 weeks, we've done 200% on the account starting balance. So we've took £100 to £300, or just under to 295. What happened was we originally started with the 100. First trade we made 20%. Second trade we made an initial 20%. Then obviously we had this small position here which was £5, which again we just set the wrong lot size on this one. Then we had another win for 20%. So already within 3 trades, or 3 proper trades, we were actually about 68% of the way up. Obviously, as you can see from the dates here, we had trades on the 9th, the 10th, the 11th of November. So in 3 days, this account actually made the 100% gain, which isn't normal. It's not realistic. We just obviously hit a good run within the market. As you can see from this example here, the only actual loss we took in this whole flip challenge was the risk-free buy that we took on EN. So hopefully that shows you the win rate of how we trade. So over the course of 2 months on this flip account, we did not take an actual loss which affected the balance. So if you obviously transfer that over to the group, we've been over, we sent every single trade to our group. So if you are obviously looking to follow some trades and obviously learn while you're doing it, then the group is going to be a really good place for you, and obviously the link of that is in the bio. So that's pretty much the journey. We had a good run for the first couple of weeks, took the balance up to 200%. Due to the fact that the balance had doubled, that means we need half the amount of trades, assuming we stick to the same risk. And that's exactly what happened. We had multiple trades here, and then over the course of 3 days, once we did the 100%, the rest came pretty quick. So that just shows you the power of compounding. So if you've got an account and it is starting small, just stay patient. The bigger the balance, the more the trades are going to be worth. And over time, what used to be your starting balance is going to be what you earn a trade. So just be patient with it. So what we will do, the next step now, is to buy a 50,000 challenge. I think realistically what we are going to do is do this challenge through Fiddlecrest because they have an offer on. So what we will do, we will probably buy the 50,000 funding through them. Trade that probably not as high risk as this because at the end of the day it's a challenge and not a flip account. We needed to make 200% here. We only need to make 10% on the challenge. So the next video you watch from us, which should be uploaded in the future, the next video of this series should be the 3rd episode. And on the 3rd episode, we are going to start the funding challenge, and you can experience that with us, how we approach it. So if you've not already subscribed, all the links to the groups are in the bio. If you want to join the free group, the paid group, if you want to enter the giveaway for the blueprint, which is the course which we are bringing out on Sunday. If you're in the group by Sunday and you are obviously in the group a member, you will get entered to a raffle to potentially win the course for free and also get some free months in the analysis group. So hopefully this video has been insightful for you guys. Thank you for following the journey, and we will see you in the next one.